Začíname startupový panel. A moje meno je Michal Maxián a prišiel som to odmoderovať hlavne kvôli tomu, že sa nejaké 2 rôčky už to nejak zaoberám startupmi a aj prepojením nejak so vzdelávaním. Spustili sme nejaké vzdelávacie projekty na technických školách hlavne. A robíme aktivity, konkrétne akciu, ktorá sa volá Startup Weekend. Je to víkendový hackathon, kde môžete zo svojej myšlienky vybudovať startup. Ja by som chcel dneska privítať hostí. Je to Michal Štencl zo Sygicu, je to Jáno z Datamolina, it's Stuart from Piano Media. This is I had to switch to the English because Stuart is English speaker, English native. He doesn't speak so well English, so well Slovak. Then we'll continue in English. Okay, then. These are the 3 startups, each one in different stage, and maybe at the start I will ask you, our dear guests, to explain what's your startup about, to have a better knowledge, maybe to share your idea and vision with the people here, with the students.
So from me.
From the right to the left.
Okay. Can you hear? Okay. Yeah, we are no more startup, so we just wanted to attend this event because we think that we still keep some kind of the startup attitude and startup mentality. Currently, Sygic is about 120 people, and we have more than 14 million euro revenue, few million customers, 35 million downloads of our app. So I wouldn't say that we are currently a startup company, but we want really to keep a startup mentality within the company. And that's why I wanted to attend this event and to talk about the startups, because we have started back in 2004 as a startup from the scratch with no money, just with a lot of energy. And currently we look at all of our people within the company and trying really to motivate them to keep startup mentality. And the way we are working as well is something that I would like to talk after this event at 10 o'clock, and maybe to invite others to learn how the bigger company may stay competitive and stay with startup mentality. So we are making the GPS navigation software. Maybe you have already heard about Sygic. And that's it, I would say, for the beginning.
Thank you. Ján, Datamolino.
So,
what is that?
Okay, sorry. So Datamolino is it's funny to hear myself twice. Datamolino is a software as a service for accountants and their clients that aims to eliminate manual data entry and automate their invoice processing. So basically today you get, when you're a business, you get lots of paper invoices and PDF invoices. These are all unstructured documents, and you need to organize them and get them into your accounting. What the accountant does today, he needs to take all this paper, print the PDFs, and basically retype it like in the Middle Ages to his computer. And we want to take this part away from him and basically make his life easier, so he doesn't need to retype and he can concentrate on the work that brings more value to his clients. So basically, he can give all the invoices to Datamolino. We extract the data for him and put them in a structured format that he can directly import into his accounting. So that's what we do, and the stage we are in, I'm representing the youngest company of this panel. We are currently in private beta. We started a year ago in May when we entered the Vira accelerator. At that time we just had a PowerPoint presentation, and now we are ready to launch in a couple of weeks into commercial production, and hope it all goes well.
Thank you.
So Piano Media, you probably know from when you try to get onto SME and Tijden, and you get a big message that says, sorry, you have to pay, and you're cursing at the computer. Why do I have to pay? I want my content for free. So that's us. That's what we do. We stop you seeing content. No, in reality, what we're doing is providing publishers not only in Slovakia now, but also globally, with the ability to add value to their business by locking their content that they feel has the value that people will pay for. We're at the position now in Piano Media where we are kind of somewhere in between the two gentlemen sitting next to me, their companies. We're at the place where we're looking to really expand and grow. We're not yet at the big company size. We're somewhere between 15 and 20 people, but we've been around now for around 3 years, and we've recently kind of moved into markets like the USA, Germany, and Spain. The main work that we're doing in Piano is around the development at the moment of the software, but the services that are important to us around that software include the analytics and the statistical understanding of how traffic is managed on the publisher's website, so that they know which content to lock, what's important to lock, and how they're going to make money.
Okay, thank you very much. This was a brief briefing about the startups, what we have in the panel. And I have, if you have some questions, then please use Slido to put some questions to the wall, and after that we will read it and we'll give it to our guests. And I have a second question about the starting of the startups. We will start from the bottom, from the nothing. And I know that Ján from Datamolino made a startup last year. You are the last one from the panel who did the startup. What was your challenge at the start? Why did you make the startup?
Well, it all started a while back when a couple of my friends thought of like, okay, why do people need to retype payments when they want to pay an invoice? And they came up with a way to encode payment and invoice data into QR codes, and they started BuySquare, where I later joined them, and together we managed to push this technology to the Slovak Banking Association, and today it's in your pocket, in your internet banking on your mobile phone, and slowly businesses are starting to roll out this technology on their invoices. And at some time we realized, okay, so we could do this with QR codes, but there's no way we can put a QR code on every invoice in the world, and basically we saw the mistake that we assumed that, okay, everybody will love this because we love it, and it was too slow for us. I mean, the payment side worked well for consumers, but the part that we wanted to solve most, the invoicing part, was too slow for our liking, and we realized that the accountants need a 100% solution. So not a 30% solution, not a 70%, not even a 90% solution. They need a 100% solution. So they get an invoice, and if they don't want to retype it, they need something. So as a next step, we thought, okay, so how is it done today? Because we knew there was a problem, and we realized today those kind of solutions are expensive. So we set out to build a better one, or basically just innovate the business model, not invent something terribly new, because this is not something has never been done before, but the way how we do it is new. So that's how we started, and I will tell you more later.
Cool. Michal, what was your challenge to make a startup? Why did you make it?
Actually, I'm the entrepreneur, so I've been never employed, and if I'm not if I didn't started Sygic, very probably I would started something different. So the attitude or the reason why I've started Sygic with other people as well is that we wanted to improve the world a little bit. So that is the reason behind. I don't think that we wanted to change the world, because a lot of people is talking about changing the world and things like that. I don't want to change the world. I want to improve it. So really to look at the market and to see that, okay, there are a lot of players with a lot of customers. And we believed that we are able to make it better.
Yeah. Well, that's a main goal of all of us, yeah. And Stuart, I have a different question because I know that you didn't start a startup. You are not one of the founders.
I was prepared to answer that question.
And I have a question. What's the main vision behind the piano?
The main vision?
Yeah.
I'd like to know that too. The main vision behind piano is it started off kind of very similar to what Michal mentioned. The idea was to bring publishers together and kind of start them working together and give consumers the ability to easily access everything across the web. I think the vision today has changed quite dramatically. We have a number of different kinds of products that we work with these days, and our vision is more about helping the individual publishers solve the gap that they're finding in ad revenue that's decreasing. So what we see worldwide is that the amount of money that publishers are making from ads that are appearing on the website all over the place, that's decreasing, and they need a way of surviving outside of that ad revenue. So we're trying to help them achieve that.
Okay, and what's the biggest technology challenge inside your company?
The biggest technology challenge? Scalability. Right. I think when you start off small, like we've done, we started off on kind of managed servers with not much input into the administration of them. We recently moved all of our systems to GTS here in Bratislava. Once we found that the capacity and the capabilities here in Slovakia was getting better and better. But in order to maintain that scalability and improve, we have a software product that works for what we need it for now. And to take it to the next step, we're hacking together code and we're adding bits and pieces here. And a couple of my guys sitting here in the front row here will certainly be able to tell you how much we've hacked together bits and pieces. And some of the stuff works because it's okay now, but if you're going to add hundreds of customers to that or thousands of customers to that, we're going to have real technological problems in the future. So the biggest challenge at the moment is to try and grow quickly, not do things just to solve it now, but to really solve it for the future.
Ján, you are in a different stage of the startup. What's your technology challenge? What's your biggest technology challenge?
I mean, for us, the challenges are similar. I mean, we are trying to build a product that must be scalable, because in the end, we want to process millions of documents per month, and it's not an easy task. And the hardest part of the whole puzzle is to set up the software in such a way that it actually reads the invoices reliably. So there is lots of things to it. It's not easy, and that's why it's fun. And we have a great team that does very good work on it. But still, I mean, there are thousands and thousands of templates how an invoice can look, and to make the computer find it reliably every time, it's very difficult.
Okay, and what's the technology challenge for the real company which already launched a product and had to scale it, and right now, I don't know, in which stage you are? You are growing the business. I know that that Sygic was inside the fastest growing companies in a CE region in Europe by Deloitte. then probably you already scaled.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that was several years, year after year. We've been in Deloitte Fast 50 for, I think, 7 consequent years. I wouldn't talk maybe about the technology right now. I would talk maybe about the product. So the biggest challenge really within the product, if you have more people, is really to select the best ideas. Because if you have more people, you have a lot of great ideas, but you need to select those that are really the best. Otherwise, you will lose your innovation.
Okay, then we can switch to the different questions, the different thinking about the MVP, about the minimum product at the start, because this is maybe the topic how you can start the business like you see here. And what was your MVP? It was application which are offline, or what it was in the start?
Presentation
software. Okay.
It was the software, but I think that you should start with the presentation. If I started the company again, it's B2B company, then I would start with the presentation where I would show all the features, and it's the American model. So the Germans are planning at the beginning, and then they are working. And the American model is really to start with the presentation, to start with the sales, and then to start talking with the customers, with the potential customers. And customers are giving you a feedback to your presentation. They don't know actually that you don't have it currently. But you are talking about the vision, about the MVP, about the product that you can deliver within 6 months, for example, and you can collect the feedback. And once you collect the feedback, then you can start include the feedback into the application. So actually, I think that very important is really to grab the customers and to collect the feedback at the beginning stage of your MVP.
Okay, then your advice is to start with the market research and to ask the customers and to approach them as many as you can, and after that to build a product on the top. Okay, what was your starting? How did you start? What was your MVP?
We actually started exactly as Michal said. We had a presentation and we talked to the clients. So that's the most important part. Actually, in the presentation, you should only promise things that you can actually deliver, because in the selling process, you can get a little bit excited and promise them, like they will ask you, like, and will it do this? And you say, like, yeah, sure, and will it do this? Yeah, it will do everything. And then, of course, they tell you, like, yes, we will buy it. And in the end, when you deliver only 30% of that, like, you might have different success. But basically, a presentation where you have your basic value proposition. And if they buy into it and they say, like, okay, this is it, that's pretty good. And I mean, just what to be aware of, what is not a validation of your idea, and is media coverage, because sometimes you can have, I say, like, media coverage, startup awards or other awards for something, and your friend saying, I like that. That's not validation of your product, because startup awards, it's sometimes you don't even know why you want something, and it can give you wrong idea just because the juries, you just maybe had the best pitch, even when the product sucks. And the media coverage, media likes new things, so when something is new, they will write about it, you will get traffic, and you say, oh, I have website traffic, I will sell millions of this. That's not validation. When somebody tells you, I will pay for this, you're getting there. So that's what we try to do, and soon we will find out.
I would say something more, not if somebody is going to tell you he's going to pay for it, but once somebody is really paying for it. So that's the validation.
True.
Okay, and Stuart, the same question for you. What was the basic model of Piano, or how did you start?
For Piano, it was completely the opposite. For Piano, the guys spent around 10 months putting together a basic product in order to get the buy-in from the publishers here in Slovakia. And once they had the buy-in based on the product that they had, They then started the company and founded the company, got people on board, and then effectively went through all the process of promising stuff that they couldn't deliver, trying to deliver, rehashing the software, completely putting a new system in place. So kind of the process was that presentation came way at the end to try and get the publishers on board. They started with the idea, they believed they had a good idea, and they ran with it.
Okay, then I will jump to the culture of the startups. And I know, Stuart, that you work for Hewlett-Packard, what is one of the biggest corporations in IT. And you started in Piano 1.5 years before. And what was the jump in the startup? How did you feel it?
Well, the biggest difference for me was the reality of what money really means. Right? When you work for a company like HP, money is a number on a spreadsheet, and when you work for a startup, money is the amount that you're not going to get paid at the end of the month. It's a significant difference in the way of thinking, and you're constantly kind of concerned about where am I going to get the money to fund the next good idea, or to fund the next set of development, or to fund the next marketing campaign. It's a constant kind of challenge in that regard. So that was the biggest change for me. And in terms of culture, I think culture is something that, as a manager in any organization, you can build culture within your own team. There's always going to be culture from the bigger company and a company like HP, but when you move to a company like Piano, we have a lot of fun, and I think that's kind of the biggest thing for me working in Piano is we tend to have a lot of fun. We have a grill party on a Friday afternoon for lunch on a terrace outside of our office, but I know the next week the guys are going to work extra hard, right? So we tend to have a lot of good times.
Cool. A question to Ján. I know that you had Forces company before, and after that you founded Datamolino, and you went to Vyra. What was the culture inside Vyra?
Yeah, I mean, Forces still works. I mean, Forces and Datamolino are very much like twins. That's basically same guys working on stuff. And yeah, Datamolino started at Vyra, and I mean, we have our own culture. We are quite hardworking and try to also have a lot of fun and give our people the freedom they need to pursue their goals. And the other guys at startup, they had lots of fun. We tried to work a little harder than the rest, and we tried to get out in the world and sell our product. So I actually wasn't there as much as I thought I would be. So because I was out there and doing the interviews with clients. But our culture is still developing, and we are still just a few people, and the core team has lots of fun, and I think we have pretty good vibrations. So
cool. And what's the culture inside the Sygic? What is it about? I know that you will have also the presentation about the culture in the room. After this panel discussion, we will have the next lesson in IT career center in the next room. Then please attend it. Michal will discuss the culture or the evolving of the culture of companies there. What's culture inside the Sygic?
I wouldn't talk about the fun and things like that because it's very modern. Currently talking about a lot of fun, and like Google and Facebook is talking that the culture is fun. I would talk rather about the challenge. Yeah. So I think that for us, when we've been very, very small, was that nothing is impossible, and you need to be challenged, and you have to think out of the box, and that's the way of thinking that we want to really keep in a Sygic. And that's the way that I've been talking about. That's the thing I've been talking about as well. That for us is extremely important to find the best ideas and to push people out of the barrier to think out of the box. So I think that this is very important within a Sygic, really to have a challenge and to be challenged.
If I can add something to this, like today it's really modern to be a startup or have a startup and start a new company, and there are lots of startup weekends and accelerators and co-working centers, and it's lots of stuff happening. And I'm just always telling people, like, this is at the end you want to build a company, so you have to work really hard. All that you see at these events is just party, and everybody likes to kind of enjoy this kind of commotion because that's kind of fun, and that's what you do when you're young. But that's not how you build a company. And at the end of the day, you really have to sit at your desk and work. So it's like, don't get dragged into it, because like you can drink every day, but in that way you will never build a Sygic. So that's what I kind of dislike currently. Like everybody's like, oh, let's do some startup awards, and that's what I say is like not winning awards, it's getting paying customers in the door.
Yes, there are several startups which attend all startup weekends, but they didn't launch a product yet. Yeah. Okay, and you are growing through the time, and how this culture changed inside Sygic, because you are already a company, a big company, 120 people inside. It's not like the 15 people. Mm.
Yeah, actually, the culture is changing, and we want still to take it back, to be like a startup mentality. And I think that we have some tools, and we see some progress in that. But it's really hard, because if you are searching for new employees, many times those people are really thinking that they are going to get a job, and to get a job means to work on topics or on things that you are asking them to work on. But we want them really to work, to think out of the box. So not really to get just some task, but really to ask for task, or to have new ideas how to improve the process, how to improve the product, and how to be much more than just the employee. So that's why we have, for example, the product teams. We don't have like just the R&D and the marketing and things like that, but we want to put people together and really to let them to work together.
Okay. I will have several questions about your recommendation how to start startup from a student perspective. What's your recommendation to the students?
I think it's hard work. If you have to decide, but I think that the best time to start the startup is really just after your last exams, because there are no loans and things like that. So you have really your time, and you can invest your time into making new things. And I think that what I would start when I would start startup again, I would really look at the customers or at the companies, and I would be a little bit copycat. Yeah, so I would take a look at the segment that exists, because I know there are money, there is a business model, it works, and I can improve it. So I think that a lot of people are just thinking they are going to make something new and something different and so on, and they are not really they are not really looking at the customers, but they are looking just at their vision. And I think if you want to be really successful, you need to look at the customers, not just at your vision.
Okay, and what's your recommendation, Ján?
Well, it depends. I mean, what I've seen in the world, sometimes the most successful startup founders are the ones that already have experience in the industry that they want to disrupt. So they already worked at a big company and saw that this big company does things in a certain way and is unable to change just because of sheer momentum. And with a nimble approach, you can disrupt it. Or you can, if you have a really good idea and you can also start right after school, but you have it harder because you have no connections, no industry insight, no insights or know-how. So it's a little harder, but I mean, anyone with the right spirit is able to start a company. I mean, there are cases, but of course you have to do your homework. It's not. What I see many people do is they build the product first and then they try to start a company around it and they cannot find customers. I mean, really think of 5 people who will buy your product, and if you can think of 5 people who will buy your product, you are onto something. If you cannot think even of 5 people who will buy your product, you probably don't have a good startup idea. So, I mean, that's the way I would go about it, but I mean, it's not also for everybody. I think sometimes it's better to work at a startup, to enjoy the kind of the challenges, and not be the one responsible for getting the money on the table for for the burn rate.
Stuart, what's the best way how to start a startup?
Well, I think it's definitely what the guys are saying here, that you have to have, well, number one, you've got to have an idea of what you want to do, right? But you've got to have an idea that's going to sell. If you don't have any customers, there's no point, right? So you've got to have a kind of understanding that your idea has got some traction in some sort of market somewhere. And you know, if you come out of university and you have a good idea and you know for definite that it's going to work, you really need to put the time and effort into making sure that people around you think it's going to work. I think Ján mentioned it earlier that, you know, the validation of your idea is critical, and your friends around you saying yes, that's a great idea is not necessarily the right validation. It's really finding people that are going to buy it.
And also maybe one thing is the best advice I ever got on anything that I done in my life is to Google it first, because sometimes you find that either somebody does it and does it so good that it will be very hard to compete, or somebody already done it and they didn't succeed. So you can either learn or you can realize it's probably not a good idea when it didn't succeed. And people sometimes when they do their pitch and want to present like, wow, this is the great idea, and you ask them like, do you know this guy, do you know this guy, do you know this guy? It's like, no. And I mean, they're all established competitors, so sometimes it's good to Google a lot.
Yeah, I would add as well that what I have mean by looking at the competition, I think that it's very important to see that there are already customers, already business model or something like that, and you can disrupt it. But if you look at your idea and say, okay, this is something new and there is nobody, no competition, it's a signal that probably there are no customers as well. And it's very hard really to find completely new customers on the market. It's much easier really to find the old customers with the new way of thinking, so to disrupt them.
Okay, then you both, all of you are thinking about the disruptive innovation, learn and make some experience, and market research and hard work.
Yeah. But sometimes like also, as Michal said, and that's what I think he also means, is with the copycat you said. It's not really copycat. Sometimes it's just business model innovation. You don't really need to have a technological breakthrough, like a new patent or whatever. Just find a way where the current business model is not efficient and you can do it better. And that's possible with web technologies and new things that's still coming, like mobile phones. Somebody has a mobile phone already. See, not many people here yet.
Yes, and All of us probably know about the Groupon model and that you have a lot of zľava dňa, zľavomat and all the things. This is typical copycat, I also saw a lot of ideas with the same topic on the startup weekends. Everybody, it is a social sharing platform for something. There is a sharing of the car or something like that, and then this is a typical ideas. But you can achieve the startup only with the changing in the business model or the disrupt the market and make some share from it. Yeah. If I understand it correctly.
Somebody shared my bicycle and didn't return it. You know? It's a good business model.
Well, one of the advantages that I see as a foreigner here in Slovakia is that it takes a long time for ideas to sometimes come out this way, right? So you have an advantage as a potential startup here in Slovakia to take those ideas and to improve the business model and launch it here in Slovakia. There are many kind of opportunities if you look at the UK, the US, because of the size of the markets there, that people are more willing to try ideas and to maybe fail, and because there's a bigger market, you get to see some of the ideas that are happening there, and you can potentially bring some of them back here. That's where the Groupon zľava dňa kind of model comes into play.
Yeah, that's the technology transfer actually. That you look at the USA, for example, or like a Halo taxi and things like that. Currently, it's in Bratislava, something like that.
Yeah, there is only one.
Yeah, it's technology transfer. So they have seen that in UK and they just transferred the technology here and started the company. At the beginning, they had no really a success, but later on they found out the business model and the way how to pursue the taxi drivers to use their product. And that's very simple, just by giving them tablets. Yeah. So actually, that was a barrier, and they crossed the barrier, and they are currently in a taxi driver's hand. So I think it's just really a way of thinking that you may have completely the same solution, but you adapt it on the local requirements, for example.
Okay, cool. We have last 10 minutes, yeah, and then we can jump to the questions. Here it is. How long did it take to make it from idea to successful business? What do you think? How long did it take?
Half a year.
Half a year? Ján?
I mean, we are not a successful business yet, so I will tell you next time.
Okay.
I know, it's hard to tell.
I think it's the same answer for us. I think we've achieved a lot, but are we extremely successful? No, we'd still like to have a lot more success.
Yeah, cool.
You've been asking how long.
How long does it take to
side?
you? Yeah, on your side.
Okay, that was 1.5 years or 2 years. I've been talking about the current situation, and I think that apps and things like that, you can really be successful within 6 months.
Yeah, and right now, with your experiences and with all the stuff, you can do it in
6 to 12 months. It's probably possible.
Okay, cool. What is the best way to get money investment for tech startup? This is also one of my questions. What do you think? It's best to go with the bootstrapping or with investment? I know that two of you get investment and you bootstrap it from the start.
Yeah.
Mostly. Then what's the best way? I know that it will probably be different answer.
No. It depends on the need of the company at the time, right? I mean, if you need millions of euros, chances are you're going to have to go out and get some investment from somewhere. For us, that's definitely been a need, knowing that we have a plan of X amount of years that says we're going to need money for that length of time. Means we need to go out and get some investment for it.
Yeah, and you get money from the incubator, from the Virat, and then you know it. You have it fresh in your mind.
Yeah, I mean, we have 2 seed round of investments, but we were all non-technical founders, so we needed to hire coders to actually build our idea. So I mean, for us, the founders, we didn't pay ourselves any money, but without the coders, we could never build the application. So we needed money, and we didn't want to spend so much of our money, although we spent our money as well. So we got seed round from Vira, Telefonica, and now we got another seed round from a fund of innovations to find a product market fit. And at some point, it depends what type of business you are, but if you want to scale, you probably will need outside investment, and the way to get it is not to build it and then ask an investor like, hey, you have some money for me? We actually started to talk with investors right with the idea. So they actually knew us the whole time, and the largest investment we got was 500,000 euro just this February. And we started talking with those investors in April last year, and we always had meetings with them. We told them what we are trying to achieve, and they saw that we always delivered what we promised. And because basically we didn't have a product, we didn't have anything that they gave us money on. And so it needs trust from the investor that you're not gonna just run off, buy a car, and they will never see you again. So it really doesn't work that way, as you see it in the newspapers, that somebody built something successful and everybody's throwing money at them. You need to build these relationships with investors and talk with them and earn their trust.
Michal?
I think that a good idea how to start is with the knowledge. So that's why a lot of IT companies, successful IT companies, started with the developers. So Facebook, Microsoft, Apple as well, Steve Wozniak, Google as well, and so on. So the developers, they really have a competence to build the product, and if they are thinking with a kind of marketing as well, they are able to bring the MVP, so minimum viable product on the market, and to be a little bit successful. But I think very important is to start with a so-called MVG, and that's minimum winning game. So you can create a business model or a business plan, and you say not how I'm going to build a company that will earn 1 billion euro, but what's the minimum winning game? How much I have to earn in 1 year to cover my costs? And the other thing is just upside.
Then you see that, for example, if you are only the business people, then probably you will need more investment, like if you are a developer or something like that. But you have to think about the business side because you have to eat something, yeah. Okay, and we have 5 more minutes. Then last question, and what do you think about Kickstarter? Is it possible to start Kickstarter campaign from Slovakia? I know that you didn't launch a Kickstarter campaign on your product, but it was on the top. What do you think?
I mean,
we had some examples from Slovakia.
Cool Charge,
we did it.
I think. Cool Charge did it, no? The guys with the charger. I think these crowdfunding platforms are more of like a pre-buy platform. So you basically promise that you will deliver something, and in my opinion, it works mostly for hardware startups. But I think everything is possible. So for software companies, it's probably harder to use a crowdfunding platform, but you really need to have good social media coverage to build a successful campaign, probably. Yeah. No idea.
I mean, crowdfunding needs a lot of people, right? And by definition, the population here in Slovakia is not so big, so it's going to be a lot harder to start a crowdfunded kind of effort like Kickstarter here in Slovakia.
Yeah. Okay, then do you want to answer this question? Do you have some insight or?
I think Kickstarter is really good for presentation of your company. Yeah, so it's kind of validation. Let's say I think it's important to really validate if your idea is good or not. But I wouldn't say that it's the way of thinking how to get the money. So it's great to get early adopters to see that they are customers and you are validating your business idea. That's the way how you should take a look at the Kickstarter.
Okay, and I have a last question to Michal, because I know that you will have a next presentation in the next room. Introduce your next exhibition there and say something what do you want to say about
in English or Slovak?
It's up to you. In Slovak, it will be okay, yeah.
OK, takže ja by som vás teda rád pozval, vedľa máme, budeme mať prezentáciu, je to možno skôr také len ako keby otvorenie mysle ľudí, ktorí majú chuť ju trošku otvoriť a budem rád, keď vám to fakt len maličkú vec možno dá, že odídete a poviete si, že aj takto sa na veci dá pozerať. Budem rozprávať možno o nejakej evolúcii firiem a ako prechádzajú, akou evolúciou a že v budúcnosti určite nie je možné už zotrvať v tom, ako fungovali 10 alebo 20 rokov dozadu a že každá veľká firma bude musieť hľadať spôsob, akým sa stane veľkým startupom a možno aj to ukázať na tom, ako fungujeme my, ako Sygic a čo sa nám darí, čo sa nedarí, ale možno aj o tom, ako sa budú musieť zmeniť ľudia, aby boli sme viac úspešní v tomto svete, lebo si myslím, že je to z krízy do krízy a tlačenie peňazí tomu veľmi nepomôže a musíme začať viac myslieť out of the box všetci. Takže o tom.
Super, ďakujem.
Ešte môžem ja niečo povedať? Tiež si robím také malé promo. Ja mám totiž konkurenčný taký workshop tu že ako si otestovať ten startup nápad, tak verím, že časť z vás sa možno prihlásil aj na môj workshop a trošku sa pohráme s tým, že toto, čo sme sa tu dnes bavili, že ako si to naozaj vyskúšať, čo spraviť preto, aby ste to nejak moc nepremysleli a nepokazili. A pozerám, že máme tu silnú zostavu, lebo aj došiel ma podporiť Andrej, môj co-founder a mám to aj chalanov, čo nám to programujú, tak možno aj na to bude otázka, že jak to tam reálne fičí, keď tam máme aj nejakých technológov, tak plus hľadáme rubistov. Ak je niekto rubista, napíšte nám. Ďakujem.
Jasne, ďakujem.
Do I get to say something?
Stuart, sure. Do you want to say something at the end?
So we have a workshop after this as well, and we'd also like some people to come and join us for the workshop. No, we got the workshop planned after this, and it's around how we're taking our product and implementing it on a global scale. So. Talking about some of the issues and the problems that we've had of the scalability that I mentioned earlier. And of course we're hiring too, so...
Okay, then you see that startup people are always the activists, and they have all of them have workshops here. Then thank you very much, Stuart, Ján, and Michal, and see you on the workshops. Then.
Thank you.
Thank you.